got some guys in Brazil to do
It's never gonna happen with my footage. When I film you, I'm going to fucking keep it in my bra. Okay, what I think is I'm just gonna ask you some questions. Where do you sleep? How would you define yourself in this moment? This is your room? Do you think that you will be killed by a drone? You may be an enemy of the state, but you are not an enemy of humanity.
Bradley Manning has now been, as of yesterday, detained without trial under extremely adverse conditions in a variety of US military-run prisons for over 900 days. The legal maximum is 120 days, but in fact it doesn't matter particularly what the law says. We can simply look at the human condition.
Will you explain to everyone watching why he can be held for longer and why he can be held for longer without any representation that would otherwise be given to him under habeas corpus? Can you explain?
It can't be. As far as the Bill of Rights is concerned, there is a right in the United States to speedy trial. That has been translated in legislation going into the US military, in the US military justice system, the UMCJ, to mean the trial must occur within 120 days of arrest. He has been detained for over 900 days in prison. It is simply illegal. They are acting illegally according to their own definition. Can you explain
to the people that are watching you why they're saying that it's okay that they've held him?
Well, I don't think that they even claim that it's okay. Of course, they're not admitting.
Haven't they tried to protect themselves under the laws that they have for terrorists? Aren't they treating him like a terrorist?
There's a variety of offences that he has been charged with, over 20 offences, and here's what's extraordinary. There was his trial is due February next year. His full-blown trial. They plan to bring 100 witnesses against him. The UN Special Rapporteur for Torture, Juan Mendez, has formally found against the United States, saying that he was treated in a manner that was equivalent to torture within the US military prison system. His lawyer says that is to force a confession in relation to me. So,
to force a confession. Say that again.
That the adverse treatment that Bradley Manning has undergone while he has been in US military custody, the abuse, the torture that he has undergone in US military custody, together with charging him with the death penalty offence, has been done in order to coerce him into making a confession,
which he has not done,
against the WikiLeaks organisation, which as far as we are aware he has not done.
But you were just saying something very important about Bradley. You were saying that
Bradley Manning, well, actually I want to say it. We
were saying that we don't know that he's confessed. You don't know if he's confessed.
Bradley Manning's lawyers and his support groups say, and I see no reason to not believe them, that he has been charged with a death penalty offence which is completely disproportionate to the allegations, in order to coerce him into making a confession against me and against the WikiLeaks organisation.
Was it denied or not, the death penalty? Do we know yet?
What has happened is that the prosecution in the Bradley Manning case has said that they will not seek the death penalty at any sentencing hearing. However, such a death penalty may nonetheless be applied. And if you think of yourself in that situation, that's no reassurance.
So you're saying that he doesn't know?
Correct. And
there's no guarantee?
There's no guarantee that he will not be
killed
by
the government.
And if he is not killed, then the modified form of the death penalty offence is life imprisonment without parole, which is a living death penalty.
Right.
Which in some ways
are you afraid of that?
For Bradley?
For you?
I am confident about being able to withstand solitary confinement, having been in solitary confinement. However, of course, it would interfere with my work in a severe and arduous manner.
Good answer. Now,
similarly, Bradley Manning has undergone torture according to the United Nations. Juan Mendez has made a formal finding against the United States, and Hillary Clinton's spokesperson resigned over the issue of how Bradley Manning has been treated in prison. His lawyer says that his treatment in prison, at least in part, was an attempt to coerce him into making a confession against me and the WikiLeaks organization. Now, as far as we are aware, Bradley Manning did not succumb to any attempt to force him into such a confession.
Right.
Now we look at how the media has tried to represent this young man. What they have tried to do, they have tried to, he is alleged to have acted for political reasons. Now,
what are those reasons?
He's alleged to have acted to expose war crimes and other abuses that were occurring. That allegedly that's not what he signed up for as a soldier. He signed up to defend the United States against enemies, foreign and domestic. So
saying he didn't do his job.
Domestic enemies would include those people who are violating the values of the United States Revolution.
Yes.
Okay. So
you're saying that he's being accused of not doing his job when in fact exposing the government is precisely what you feel that's his job to be.
He is accused of giving information to the public. Now, in his case, the United States government has argued that it does not need to prove that any harm came as a result. In fact, his defense has been furiously trying to get hold of a variety of impact assessment documents on the impact of WikiLeaks publications, which we know say that no harm came to any person that was significant, no sort of physical harm came to anyone. Of course, politicians were embarrassed. Of course, some people had to resign, but no.
Isn't that sort of not here nor there?
Exactly. Well, it's a useful, helpful, and important thing in most cases. But no person was actually harmed as a result of his actions or.
May I ask you another question?
So they claim that his offence is not causing harm, and they do not need to prove that he caused any harm. And in fact, they refuse to even attempt to prove that he caused any harm.
Why is that? Because they can't prove it.
Because they can't prove it. We know that they can't.
So that's not part of their case.
That's not part of their case. What they say is that simply that him communicating information to the public without authorization, allegedly, is an offence, and that offence goes all the way to the death penalty.
It's pretty heavy. Pretty heavy stuff. Is he a gay soldier, Mr. Assange?
It is reliably reported that he is a gay soldier.
Do you think that his treatment has anything to do with that, or do you think that that sort of maybe had something to do with it in the beginning and doesn't now, or never had anything to do with that? I'm just wondering.
They have tried to use that against him. They have tried to use that to diminish him.
The propaganda.
Both the prosecution in the United States military case, but also the propaganda forces of the establishment that is connected to the US military, particularly in the East Coast of the United States.
So you feel that they're using that to paint him in a negative light?
They're using that to diminish him as a human being. Now let's be clear. Here is a young man, 22 years old, who's been in prison for 2 years under very adverse conditions, attempted coercion to force him into a confession. that young man, which they painted out as not even a man, but a mere gay, that young man is the young man that has resisted that brutal attempt at a forced interrogation.
Right.
Not a 6'8" strapping fellow, but this young man they tried to diminish as someone who simply acted out of impulse.
They're trying to propagate a stereotype that is not real, when truly he is defending.
Look, there's plenty of people in the U.S. military. There is not. Bradley Manning is the only political prisoner that the U.S. military has in custody who's been detained without trial for this long.
Let me ask you something.
He is the
because
only.
I'm very fascinated by this, and I know why you told me about him, because I understand now. Because he is young. He's very young. What I want you to explain to everyone is that a 20-year-old soldier.
22.
Well, he's 22 now.
No, he's 24 now.
Okay, he's 24 now. How old was he when...
He's alleged to.
He is alleged to have leaked
22.
information. 22.
He's alleged to have been 22 years old.
So he was just of age to have a beer when he came home.
Correct.
From war.
Correct.
So what I'm wondering is that this young man, do you feel that he acted out of compassion?
I cannot comment whether the allegations against him are valid or invalid. I can see that regardless of the circumstance, he is the United States' foremost political prisoner. He has been detained for the longest time without trial in US military history. So that young man has been found to have been treated in conditions that were equivalent to torture by the United Nations formally. He is in that condition as a result of allegations arising from WikiLeaks publishing activities from my work. So that is why I fight for this young man.
Do you feel badly that he's in this situation?
I feel that we have a duty to fight, to draw attention to his plight.
That's very compassionate and beautiful.
Well, I think that if he is alleged, if he has truly done what he is accused of, then he is a hero. There is no doubt that he is a hero.